When I go door to door, I hear a variety of issues. Most of those are personal issues. We do have drainage and flooding problems in different areas. Drainage and flooding problems in different areas, that has come to the light. And I know about 1.5 years ago, I believe we did a survey. We sent out a survey to everyone and got sporadic responses. And what that told us was that the problems did not all stem from the same source. Some people think that they have a sanitary sewer problem, but actually it relates to the stormwater issue. And it is a problem in certain areas of the village. The stormwater is so sometimes when you have a big storm, people's sanitary sewers will back up because the storm water is infiltrating into the sanitary sewers. It can't hold all the water and it's backing up. We have a couple of things that we can do. If it's simply a drainage problem, the water needs to drain away instead of toward the house. We have a budget that's set aside and the village works with individuals. We will actually put in a drainage system so the water goes away from the house. We have a limited budget for that, but generally we pay 90% of that bill and the people pay 10%. We also have a contract with Cuyahoga County and the NEORSD. They will come out and snake your sewers and dye test your sewers on a regular basis if you need that. And that's going to give us some information as to blockage and infiltration problems. And the good thing is, I think it was October 15th now, the NEORSD came out with, the Supreme Court just came out with a decision regarding the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District's ability to deal with stormwater, manage stormwater as a part of its wastewater management, and also to be able to collect fees. Now, if you don't know the history of that, this started several years ago when the district wanted to do that. They filed an action with the Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court, and they asked the court if under their charter they were allowed to do both of those things, to collect the money and to set up a system and to manage stormwater. That's 3 things, I guess. But the court said yes, and they began to collect those fees. I think it's about $5.15 a month per every 3,000 square feet of impervious surface that you have. That decision was then appealed to the 8th District Court of Appeals, and the 8th District reversed on both of those points, said you couldn't do that. They did let the district keep the money that was already collected while it was on appeal to the Supreme Court. And October 15th, the Supreme Court came out and said yes to both of those issues. So under their charter, the sewer district is permitted to manage stormwater as a part of its wastewater management system, and it can collect fees in order for it to put systems in place to do that. Of the money that we pay, 25% of that is specifically allocated to come back to our village, and we can apply for more than that. So I think now we're in a good position. We could apply to the sewer district and get that help. So that's one of the big problems that I've heard of.
And I take it that Mayfield Village is not among the communities that are continuing to challenge, or were challenging, the regional sewer district's ability to begin this stormwater.
That's correct. We filed an amicus brief in favor of the decision that just came out, yeah.
Okay. How do, Mr. Myers and Mr. Jerome, how do you feel about regional stormwater management and how that could impact Mayfield Village?
Well, I feel it's an important decision. Sitting on the Drainage Infrastructure Committee, I see residents month after month coming in with again, small issues, but these are important to them. When we first initiated the Drainage Infrastructure Committee before I was on council, it was kind of like we'd meet here, we'd meet there, we weren't consistent with what we were doing. So when I came in, I said, we need to be more consistent. We need to meet once a month. We need to have a set meeting time. We need to make sure that the residents come in with their information and they don't get removed from that list until their issue's resolved. If it's beyond what the D&I committee can handle, it's then given over to the service director and the engineer, who we work with on all the issues, and they look at them more from an overall village-wide issue. I know that on council we passed a resolution stating that we wanted the regional sewer district to take over these stormwater issues. It's unfortunate some communities were against that, but that is their right to do as a community, and I was glad to be part of that decision to vote in favor of a resolution saying that we want this. We're glad you stepped up. We're glad that you're taking the bull by the horns to manage these stormwater issues. I've found that over the years that the amount of rain that comes onto the ground is exponentially rising. It's these quick, small bursts where our systems can't handle it. And I've been adamant with our engineer and our service director to make sure that we're doing everything we can. I've sat in on meetings with the county, making sure that we're doing dye testing, make sure we're doing flow monitors, make sure we're doing everything we can do to keep the residents from getting flooded. And I hear, once a week I hear a resident, I got flooded, my basement got flooded, what can we do? And I understand that some of those issues are on the resident, but instead of having the approach of, well, it's not you, it's us, it's better to have the approach, well, let's work on it together. And I feel that we can continue to do that, continue to have an overall village approach to handling these issues systematically and with common sense. It's unfortunate the residents get flooded. We understand that our service department tries to at least help them out after an issue, helping them, remove garbage from the tree lawn they have to put on there, or getting them some sort of a drying device to try to help that, or give them a contact of who they can go to. So I think that we'll gradually keep working. We just finished a $2 million sewer conversion project from septic to sewer. We're finalizing that now. That included new water lines and a new road project. And I think as we continue to do the other couple streets that need to be converted, that will close up some of those gaps, some of those issues with stormwater getting into sanitary sewers and getting into people's basements. And I think we're on a good path. I feel we can do more, and I believe that I can lead by example and keep Mayfield Village flood-free.
Well, as a businessman looking at the village, they just completed a storm retention right down the street from my shop on Psalm Center Road. They removed a house and they built a huge basin. And a lot of the comments that I'm hearing from residents are they planted trees in the bottom of the basin. Well, trees die when they were planted underwater. The basin that was there before they renovated it never had water in it. They just made it 3 times bigger. They planted trees in the bottom of it, and the water, it never fills up. It never, I've been standing there in the last 2 deluges. I've stopped on Psalm Center Road and got out of my truck, and, they get a couple inches of water in the bottom of it, but it never had water in it, before. The water doesn't go down, behind the houses. And a perfect example, my neighbor at 6483 Highland Road, they changed the grade of the road 4 years ago, and ever since they've done that, she gets 4 inches of water in her garage every time it rains.